You step on the pitch, nervous to play. It's been like this for a while now. Your teammate looks at you, he wants to pass you the ball. He does, but you didn't want the ball. Your first touch, terrible. Second and third touch, even worse. And your fourth touch, and you've lost the ball again. Your manager screams at you. He's angry at you for constantly losing the ball, and your confidence is shattered. You're eventually substituted off. If you can relate to that story at all, then I want you to understand that things can turn around very, very quickly. Just a few years ago, my confidence was in the absolute mud, and I thought I had no future in football. That's obviously no way to be, and now I'm at a point where every time I step on the pitch, I'm extremely confident and I basically have zero doubts. So grab a pen and paper, because this video will teach you exactly how you can get your confidence back. Let's begin. Firstly, we need to look at why you aren't confident on the pitch already. And maybe it's because you have certain insecurities about your game, like your shooting is bad or your weak foot's first touch is poor. Well, I'm going to tell you for free that these things won't magically go away. You're not going to magically become confident, because a lot of confidence comes from results. So let's say, for example, you take 5 shots in a game and all 5 of them blaze over the bar. Of course, on your 6th shot, you're not going to be confident going into that. And that's going to kind of be a negative self-fulfilling prophecy. And what I mean by that is, because your shooting's bad, you think it's bad, so when you take shots, you don't even think yourself, you don't even believe in your own head that you're going to score. But this obviously sounds terrible, right? And it is a bad thing. But this can also work the other way around. For example, let's say you take a shot and it goes in, right? Because let's be honest, even your weaknesses in game, you will eventually get a shot. For example, someone like Timo Werner, right? Misses hundreds and hundreds of shots every single game. If he just scored that one goal and then deluded himself, he almost just told himself, I'm good at shooting, I'm good at shooting, I'm good at shooting, then that can actually work the complete opposite way around. And while it's easier if someone else tells you it, you have to truly believe this stuff as well. So for me, for example, I used to lose all my 1v1s and I would basically go, I don't care, I'm good at 1v1s, that's my thing. And basically that kind of works in a self-fulfilling prophecy way, because when you do win a one-on-one, it eventually starts to become the norm for you, because you basically gaslighted yourself into thinking you're good at 1v1s. So anytime you go into a 1v1 or anytime you go into a shot, whatever the thing is, you're going to believe that you're good at it. And if you believe you're good at it, then you're going in with confidence. And if you go in with confidence, then you're going to get the results, because confidence breeds success. But if you go into things timid, nervous about taking the shot, nervous about taking the man on, then of course you're not going to score. So this is my advice to you for this. You almost have to delude yourself into thinking, I'm good at something, even if you're not. And obviously that's very difficult to do, right? And a lot of people won't be able to do that. You might not be able to do that. But there's a second point that I have. And like I said earlier, it's about practice, right? So if you don't have the ability to delude yourself like some people can, then that's fine. What we need to do then is we need to get the results for you to truly believe that you're good at something, so you can be confident in your head. So let's say, for example, you're terrible at one-on-ones, you lose all your one-on-ones, your coach screams at you every time you lose your one-on-ones. I understand, I've been in that position before. Do you know what I did, and do you know what you need to do? You need to go off the pitch and you need to start grinding 1v1s. It's as simple as that. You're not going to magically become good at 1v1s unless you can proper delude yourself, which a lot of people can't, like I said. So get off the pitch, start grinding with your friends, do one-on-ones every day, 10 one-on-ones every day. And what do you think happens after you practice something over and over again? You become better at it. And if you become better at it, then you can do the move in training with a little bit more confidence. And then when you start doing it in real training with your teammates, then you feel super confident. Then you start doing it in game, and eventually you're taking the man on every single time and you're rinsing him. Then what happens is, because you've built up a tolerance to this, you're going to keep your confidence. Because if you take 100 one-on-ones when you're really confident and you win 98 of them, do you think in those 2 times you're going to be like, I'm so bad? No, of course not, because the results speak for itself. Even if you lose 10 in a row, because you've beat someone 90 times before, you're going to keep that confidence. So the advice for this point is, firstly, if you have the ability, completely delude yourself, genuinely just lie to yourself and say you're good at shooting, you're good at one-on-ones, you're good at crossing, whatever it is, because I promise you, that attitude is more likely to get you a better cross, to get you a better shot, to get you a better one-on-one, than if you're timid, nervous going into it. But if you can't do that, completely fine. Then what I want you to do, and this applies to the first point anyway, you need to be doing work off the pitch to correct these insecurities that you have, so eventually you can feel confident in yourself. Just as a quick plug, I help players like yourself improve your technical ability and get it up to a professional standard. And if you didn't know already, technical ability is basically the essence of being able to beat players one-on-one, because if you have no technical, you can't beat players one-on-one. Most of my students see results literally in the first week or something, so I'll read out a couple of them now. Owen, for example, who said his weak foot has improved massively just 2 sessions in, or Mohammed, who said it's a gold mine and his ball control has improved 2 weeks in. If you would be interested in something like that, it'll be the first link in the description. Also, I just added a new module which is on smashing your goals in 2025, so be sure to check that out, first link in the description. Anyway, back to the video. My second point is one that could potentially offend you if you have a hollow ego. And I get it, you feel like the world's on your back, you're scared of your dad, your coach, getting angry at you for messing up. I fully get it, but I just want to tell you, no one cares. Literally no one cares. You're not playing in a stadium that's full of 80,000 people in a Champions League final. You're playing on a grass pitch in a random field in the middle of nowhere. And I don't say this to belittle you or make you feel bad about your football. I say this because I care about you. And I want you to put it into perspective that you don't have all of this immense extreme pressure. You genuinely are just playing football to enjoy the game at potentially even a low level at this point. So having this mindset of, I care about what people think, I care that everyone's going to get annoyed at me for messing up, that mindset will not get you anywhere or help you in games. And also, I want you to remember, there's always that kid, everyone knows some kid who kind of like doesn't even care about football that much. They turn up to the pitch, they don't give an absolute, they don't give a shit what anyone thinks. They turn up to the pitch, they ball out, and even when they play badly, they literally don't care. And the next week they drop a 10 out of 10 performance. That player could literally be you, and it's simply because it's not so much about not caring about football as a whole, because of course we have to care as footballers who want to improve, but you just shouldn't care. Like in the game, don't care. Because for example, there's players at the top professional level who make massive errors for their team. For example, Messi, World Cup in the penalty in the World Cup 2014, misses a penalty, blazes over the bar. That must have, you'd think that would have shattered his confidence. And what happened next season? You won the Ballon d'Or. So I want to put that in perspective for you. When you play badly one game or you mess up, you lose the ball a couple times, I promise you, I fully promise you, hand on my heart, that 5 to 10 seconds later, 2 to 3 minutes later, no one cares. Everyone's forgotten. And I'm using the professional example just so you can compare with that. Like, imagine these players. Messi was representing an entire nation, an entire country. You're representing your local team, for example. So the difference in pressure isn't even comparable. And he got over that very, very quickly, right? It's because you think he was thinking about, I messed up a penalty in the summer, the following season. Of course not, right? Because football is a very, very long game. It's going to be ups and downs. You can play a terrible game and the next week you play the best game of your life. So I want you to put that into perspective. Just understand that it's not the end of the world if you mess up a little bit, because trust me, you're going to be playing a lot of football throughout your time. You're going to have so many chances to correct your mistakes. So just take the pressure off yourself. So before you go into your next game, scared of taking risks or just scared overall, nervous to play, I want you to understand that no one cares. Literally no one cares. So just enjoy the game, have fun, take risks, because trust me, everyone's going to forget about your mini mistakes 2 minutes after they happen. And my third point is, if you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders when you play, I want you to understand that you're not playing to go pro. You're not playing because you have to be a professional footballer. Because that's a mindset that a lot of people get in, and I got in that mindset at one point. Every game I played, I was just thinking about the end result. I was thinking, I have to be pro, I have to do this, I have to do this. And when you think like that, it doesn't help you in game, because you feel like you're basically putting excess pressure on yourself, because every single move you do, it has to be perfect because you have to go pro. But that's not the real reason why you started playing football. So you need to understand that the real reason, the true and real reason why you started playing football is because someone introduced you to a ball. You started kicking the football, and after a couple months or a year, whatever it is, you kind of fell in love with the game and you just enjoyed playing. So when you play games, you need to remember, you're not playing because you have to go pro. It's not a life or death situation. You don't have to go pro. You don't need to go pro even. Obviously it's our dream, but football isn't fun when it's just, I have to do this, I have to do that. Because then it becomes sort of a chore. And when it's a chore, you're putting excess pressure on yourself for no reason. Because trust me, a lot of those other kids that are sharing the pitch with you aren't putting that pressure on themselves. So just remember, you're not playing to go pro. You need to go back to your roots and just think, I'm playing because I love playing football. I enjoy playing football. And for me, I did this literally around a season and a half ago. And trust me, it made a massive difference to my game. I was nervous before. If I had a coach screaming at me, I'd be like, oh God, I don't want to mess up. But trust me, as soon as I started remembering, I'm playing football because I enjoy it. I wouldn't be here if I didn't enjoy playing. I started expressing myself more, taking players on one-on-one, doing ridiculous skill moves, attempting different types of crosses, whatever it is. You have to just remember that you're playing football because you enjoy it. And when you start to think that, or when you start to remember that, then you express yourself freely. And trust me, you're a whole lot more likely to make it as a professional if you're just enjoying what you're doing. By the way, just as a side point for what I just said, if you do that and you just remember that you're just having fun, then as a result of that, you're also going to go into the flow state. And what I mean by that is, you know, when you're not really thinking, all this pressure's out of your head and you're just enjoying the game and like everything seems to be going right for you, that is literally the flow state. And that's basically the easiest way to get into it, by just ignoring all external pressure and just locking in, focusing on yourself, just having fun. That is how you get into the flow state. So before a game, this is just some action steps that you can do to kind of remove all this pressure. Listen to some music, remember why you started playing, maybe have a look at a couple photos of you playing as a kid, and just feel happy that you're going to play football. Because this is often a thing that everyone does. People complain about playing. They go, oh, I don't want to play. I'm not confident. I hate football. They say things like that. And I fully get it because I've been in that position before. All you have to understand is it's a blessing. It's a true blessing that we can play football week in, week out. Because there are people in the world who potentially don't have access to the opportunities that you have. There's people in the world who don't even have a leg, for example. They're missing limbs. So I just want you to understand and put it into perspective. We are so lucky to be even able to play football every week. And I think when you think in this way, what that does, it takes all pressure off you and you just enjoy the game. And that's basically when you start doing your most creative moves. And when you start doing your most creative moves, that's when you get the success, you get the results. That's where people watch you and they think, this kid's fearless, he's confident, he's a little bit arrogant, I like it. And by thinking, I need to go pro, that doesn't help you get that result that I was just speaking about. So just enjoy your time playing football. And trust me, the results will come. So what can you learn from this video? Point number 1, try to delude yourself and gaslight yourself into thinking you're the best at something when you're not. That might be difficult for some people to do, I fully get that. Point number 2, if you want confidence, you basically have to do work off the pitch to back that confidence up into making it a real thing. That's the reality. Point number 3 is kind of no one really cares, so take that pressure off yourself because it's minor, it's just football. And point number 4 is that you have to remember why you started playing. You're not playing to go pro, you just have to remember that you're there to enjoy the sport. By the way, with this video, you don't need to only watch it once. If you feel anxious any time in the future, literally any time throughout this season, next season, the season after, you can come back to this video and I know that it will put things into perspective for you and help you again, just as it has now. The technical masterclass will be linked in the description. I've already helped over 230 ballers improve and you could be next. Also, if you sign up to my emails, which will also be the first link in the description by just clicking on the masterclass, then I send you some free training every once in a while. Just a quick video of me playing and telling you which drills to do. So that will really help you. And that's pretty much the end of the video. See you in the next one.